Hi, this is Human Trading Community, and in this YouTube channel, we have learned a lot of things, my friend, and we are covering on our lessons about CFD trading, and we have started from the history of it, and now in each and every lesson we are going is an pop out of a particular topic of each and every word that comes in the system of this system. Will cover it as a lesson. So the two words that came were lots and pips, and we have covered now lots, which now it is the representation of money in this system of CFD when it was took by the banks. The banks came as the game changer into these systems. So let's cover about pips and know what is pip. So let's dive in. Let's dive in a little history. The game changed when the system of CFD came to banks after the collapse of Bretton Woods system in 1971. So this is where the game changed when it comes to CFD trading. So where the currency were fixed to the US dollar, meaning if the Euro USD rate is at $2, it was period. There's no cent like the dollar is trading as $2.1234 like that. They are worrying. So it was a fixed rate. It was fixed rate. But after the break of the Bretton Woods, now the currencies could float freely. So after the collapse, currency were allowed to float freely with even cents. So the banks, big banks now started speculating price movement, but that was not enough because still money wasn't changing fast. So they had to go further to something called PIP, percentage in point. This is what was introduced by the banks so that they can be able to track down even the small movement of different currencies, because now after the collapse of Bretton Woods, now currencies could trade with any kind of a currency, whether it's a third world country or a second world or a first world, it doesn't matter. So still they had to go further, because even when it came to cents, they were even little to convert them. But now with the percentage in point, now we'll see that they are dealing with something called PIP. So in this system, they will see the PIP value of a particular currency, and they would know how much of that PIP value and how variable that currency is. So it was simplified, but the system itself, we will have it in our mind after this. So look, if you have an unit of a currency, maybe a dollar or a shilling, the lowest you can go is cent, and from cent the lowest you can go is PIP. So you can see, if you have a currency, now the currency are not dealing with fixed rate, they have gone now to cents, you can see. But now we need even to go further from cents to pips. You can be, now you are getting the logic. We need to go to now to pips. So to go to pips, now we have now to go from cents now to pip. Let's take an example. Let's maybe think that like we are talking about time. So we are not talking about hours. The lowest you can go now, it's minute. You can say it's 1 hour 2 minutes, 1 hour 3 minutes. Now from minutes, let's go to seconds. We can go 1 hour 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 60 seconds. That's how now it came to money. So from one standard unit, then you go to maybe 20 cents and 2 pips, something like that. So it's moving from cents to pips. Now let's see the magic, because we said the reason it was to reach at this point of pips is because the currencies were not moving fast, because each and every currency, even today, their countries are trying their level best to stabilize their stability, because when they buy goods from outside they have to pay so much expensive because of their inflated currency, so they have to fight. So those currencies don't move those that fast. They don't move that fast because of that imbalance in the market. So just look at a little magic now on how pips work. Oh, now let's look at magic, why it was amazing. So one currency unit have got 100 cent, but do you know 1 cent have got 100 pip? Is the magic. So one whole unit of a currency is 100 cent, then you multiply by 100 pips per every cent to get 10,000 pips. 10,000 pips from one whole unit. So if a dollar is trading at at 2, maybe at 2, from 2 to 3, in between there is 10,000 pips. Now you can see. What if now we give this pip, each and every pip, a value of itself in terms of money? Now you'll see the magic as we go on. Now you can see, now there is a very, very big move. So if a currency maybe in a single day it moves for about 4 cents, you will see. Now if a currency moves 4 cents a day, just multiply by 100 pip. So you'll have 400 pip. So there were no way they could lack trades. There were no way they could lack trades, because just a small movement, that's a lot of money. And remember, hedge funds, banks, they are trading a chunk of money, a lot of money. So that small movement with the pip value of maybe of those different pairs or different currencies, they could make a lot of money. So even if the currency pair is stranded at one point, money is being made, because even if the currency is stranded, it's always moved maybe 2 cents, which is about 200 pips. Just like that, it is not moving so fast, but in between that, there inside, there is a lot of actions which are being done inside, and that's how pip came to change. Because for even a currency to move from one whole standard unit to the other, then there is a 10,000 pips inside. And remember, when now one pip will be given a value of money, you would see now when you join with lots, which we have been learning about, now you'll see the amount of money would be made in the two combination. So I am grateful that you know what is a lot and a pip, as per our lesson of CFD, contract for difference. So you could see contract is equals to lot, and the difference now is pip. So now, before we go to pip value, because pip have values across all different currency pairs, this system is for money now. And you remember, this system is for money now, and was built and was bought by banks. So in the next lesson, we are going to learn about quotes, pairs, currency letter representation, and decimal places in them. And stay tuned. But in the next page, we are going to see how pips looks like. So these are pips. So here, this whole standard unit, it has 10,000 pips, as we were saying. So if you go now from there, going behind, we have the 1,000 pips, 500, depending on the quote, because this is a quote. We learn what is a quote. This is a quote. A quote meaning you are buying the base currency, selling the quote currency. So you could see a quote will be represented like this, but now you could see it has how many numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the pip. This is the pip. This is the point, and this is used in something like MT5, MT4. They use points, and you will see why they use points. But It's not hard, but this is one of the most important. This is what is used, pip. And when it comes to JPY pairs, you can see, or even currency pair like Kenya shilling USD versus Kenya shilling, they use these two decimal places. These are two decimal places. So you could see US dollar versus Japanese yen. It is trading at 113.21. Ignore the 5, but these two are the most important. This is the pip, this is the last number, this is the pip. So we have a sticker here. The smallest whole unit price move that an exchange rate can make based on forex market conversion is pip. So this is a system which was introduced by banks from the system of shares, which was used to trade shares into contract. Now we are using pips measuring difference, price difference. So you can see here Euro USD. So in our quote we have the ask price and the bid, like we will see and we'll learn about it. So you could see the difference now. If maybe the ask price, the bid price is 1.1067 and the ask is 1.10868. You could now minus and see the difference is 1 pip. But what if now this 1 pip is given a value in terms of money? You'll see the magic in the next lesson. But now we are going to learn about the currencies, how to read them, because now that's what have popped out. As we have been saying that we'll be talking about what would pop out before we give them value. We'll be able now to learn about how to read currencies and their quotes and see these are quotes and see why they are quotes. Thank you very much and consider subscribing.